Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. It's getting springy again after a snowfall of a couple of feet. Right after spring happened. So it's nice today, and I think it's probably melting a lot out there now. So anyway, I hope your day is going well. Well, this is just an old painting that I found in a bunch of paintings the other day in a bag that I had. And I just was learning watercolor, and I look at it now and I see a lot of the things I did wrong and everything, but what I think we're going to try to do with what's already established here is we're just going to enhance it a little. So, what I did in the first place was I had made a small wash, light wash, whatever you want to call it, of a color, and added it all in, leaving a few little white areas here and there. But what I'm going to do right now, oh, and I also wanted to say that I am using actually this palette, which is a bit messy at the moment, but whatever. And this side is jelly gouache and that side is watercolor, and I'm combining them, and I've been doing that lately, and I actually like it quite a lot. So I'm going to go into this pinkish and this reddish, and I'm going to get some more concentrated. Now, keep in mind, none of this flower is wet now. It's all, dried. So what I put in now is, and I don't have much water on my brush, so I'm not going to get bleeds unless I choose to add more water and work with that. But right now, I just thought it would be kind of nice. We want to get that darker there. This is a size 8 round pointed nice tip on it brush, and I thought it would be kind of cool to just do a better outline of these petals. It always looks better when you do that. And like I said, I don't have much water on my brush at all. I'm kind of mostly just paint, and I'm outlining the outline of the flowers. I always thought that looked super pretty. So we're just going to do that first. And then I wanted to show you something before it gets too dry. Oops, I'm losing a little bit of the pigment there. Kind of make yourself some of these little things while you're, doing that. The flower always has these little whiffs, and make them go with the flower, with the direction that the flower is going in. What I did in the first place was I did that, but I had more water on my brush. Now that's to outline it. Some people like to go in and take that little bit that's on the edges there and pull it down. As you can see, it is coming down because it's still a little wet. And just kind of, these ended up being kind of hard edges here, but it's in there now, so I can't get that out. So that's kind of a lesson of its own. You leave it too long, and these are probably a year old or more. So I'm just pulling down from what I did just put in there. Some water, and just pull the color down into the flower a little bit here. Excuse me, I have someone at the door. I'll be right back. Hang in there. Okay. Guess I was mistaken. Okay. So we're going to get a little more of that color, and I'm going to add also some purple in with that, because what you when you do the center of the flower like this, and I'm going to, I seem to be dropping my brushes this morning for whatever reason. I want a darker color here. It can be whatever color you choose. I'm just using some purple over this beautiful red that was here, and just accent it out into the flower like this. I don't have a lot of water on my brush, like I said. I have very little, actually. All right, so we've already enhanced the flower a little bit. I like to take some yellow, and I like to find some places I can incorporate yellow, because for some reason the color yellow in flowers, it just, I don't know. Of course, flowers are never just one color or two colors. There are whole bunches of colors. Always. They're so beautiful. So I'm just kind of putting in some yellows. This is a lemon yellow. Not very much water on my brush. Some, but not a lot. And I'm just incorporating here and there some pretty yellow highlights. And you see how that looks? It's quite nice. Quite nice. You can make it subtle or you can make it vivid. It's entirely up to you how you want it to look. I'm adding it a little bit more vivid. And I think I like that a little bit better. Subtle hints, but not too much. And then right here I had where the stamen is. I come back in with my sepia, and I have to add a little bit of too much water there. Sepia and yellow ochre to this brown that I already have. It's coming out of the center, so I'm pulling some of that up in there. Don't want too much. And then I believe that was, I don't have all the colors. I had different colors back then, so I mean, all right, and this is, no, we need some more of the yellow ochre, I guess. We want to dab this. That's how I did that. And probably a little purple or red in there with it. And out of that came these shoots. Now, you can make your colors any old color you want. That's up to you. At the time, these are the colors I used. And just dot that, bring some more of these cute little stamens, little things that come out of them. Dab your brush and add a few more. I think what I'd probably do would be to add a bit more like that. And some highlight. Wash off your brush, wipe that paint off, come back in and pick some up. And probably need some highlights right in here. Do the same thing. You go in and take the paint off your brush, dab it in there and pull out the paint till you get kind of what you're looking for. Like I said, this is an old painting, so I'm not starting from fresh. I might take a little white and come down like that. Put some white in here Maybe even add a little white, a few white ones. Let's see if I can even get a dab or two of looking like highlight here. Yeah, it does. So that's, there we go. Maybe a little bit here. And then I'm going to switch my brush to, now I can do all kinds of things. I mean, I could go back into this red pink here, and I could, you know, kind of bring this down, darken it up a little bit, and take some of that water off and pull it in and make it a little darker on the edges like this. Kind of soften those edges, go back a little. So you can darken it up like that. I can do the same thing on these down here, which I probably will. I'll probably just sort of grab some of this color and pull it with that and bring it down a little into the flower. Take a little water, go up and down. These are on the bottom. These up here you want to stay lighter. So we're going to wash that smaller brush off. Get most of that, get that paint out of there. And then I'm going to take one of the larger brushes. And I kind of don't care for this flower too much, mainly because I'm not starting it from the beginning, and it was a long time ago that I did this. But I just thought I'd show you, you know, use some of these older things and then show you what you can do to add on. It's the beginning when you're first learning things. You know, you just don't, you start from somewhere, right? That's the way it always works. Right now I'm taking some purple and I'm adding some more of these little lines, and I like that. Wash the brush off again, wipe it off. Now I'm going to go into my greens, and I think what I'm going to do here, I don't know if I can do anything with what I've already got. I'm trying to kind of utilize what I have happening there and kind of see what I can do with it. These here at the top should really be lighter. Should have some lighter parts in it after I add these darker parts. So let's get a little more of this green. I hope you guys are all being able to do some painting of your own. Like I said, this is jelly gouache and watercolor. I've been mixing the two because it's quite the interesting combination and seeing where it takes me. The initial flower that I made was actually just watercolor. I didn't have the gouache at the time. So let's see what we can do with the combination here to kind of make these come up on your point. Make these leaves just let's add some red in there. Red always looks really nice with greenery. Add some in on the bottoms, darkens it up, or wherever you want it. Come in here and pull some of that out for some highlights. Same up here. Take your brush, take the paint off, and then kind of dab it in there and pull out some highlights. Take some of this pink and this green. Get that kind of color going on here. And I'm just going to dab it in some areas here that I already have painted. That's what that would look like with some red in it. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my orange and my green, and let's make some orangey green type of. I think I want a smaller brush. For some reason that's not giving me the nice thin lines I was. Whoops. As I said, I've been doing nothing but dropping brushes today. I'm really not sure what's going on. Just bear with me. It's all in a day, right? It's all in a day. So I've got this little bit of a smaller one, and I'm going to, I've made sort of a brownish color with the orange and the mixture of green, orange, red, and pull that out from there. Bring it. And let's make some, branches, twigs here. Thicken it wherever you want to. Thin it wherever you want to. And then let's just make some lighter colored leaves. Remember, I showed you before how to do this. It's in some of my other videos as well. Put the point of your brush down, press the belly, come on up. You're going to get a little water thing there, so you move it around to wherever you want it. Now I'm going to add some other colors to some reddish colors. I love it when my palette starts getting full of colors, because that's when I like to incorporate them into the painting, and especially the greenery, because it adds so much to the greenery, you know. This greenery is usually, a bit messy looking. It's never this perfect kind of greenery, And so we want to bring the little areas like this, and it should, although it's not right now, bleed a little, but it doesn't seem to. Now I'm adding some more green mixtured, darker green mixtured leaves. Small ones, large ones, and see how that enhanced that picture. And then bring those colors over here, add some darker in there. You always want to have the dark with the light. You always got to have these contrasts going on, and you can do whatever you want. I like some of the effects that they actually tell you take them out. I happen to like them. Well, we have so many things established already, but let's see if I can go over. Take this brush for a minute. This is a size 10 round pointed tip brush. I want to get a little different color going on here with this. So what I'm going to actually do is come out of here with this red mixture mixed into so many colors, greens, and I want to see if I can make this look any different somehow. Just playing around basically here. I'm just thought I would do that. Is to now see I'm down into the, see how I'm down here into the just like over here, same thing. I needed to do that as well. You're coming into the plant, so you want to there's shade there. Now see, I went over what I've already got painted on there to give like this 3D effect. I did that on purpose so you could see that, and I'm adding a little red there, and I'm probably going to add a little, but we want to kind of pull this up a bit and not have what they call hard lines. But when you're coming into the inside of a flower like that, you want to give the shadow that it would actually be showing. Another time I'll do a flower just like this from the beginning, and it will make a lot more sense and it will look better. But I just thought I'd use this one for a short little video today. So I didn't want to, I've already made some videos lately, and I've got to do a little bit of rearranging before I actually make another long one. I just made a long one on a landscape. If you'd like to go in there and see it, it came out really nicely. Just go to the channels and videos and take a look. And then pull down and go with the shape of the leaf, because it's going to, however you sort of make your lines go, if you don't go with the shape of the flower already, well, I mean, as you can imagine, it's going to look, it's going to look kind of weird. That's the best way I could put it. I mean, you want it to, now I've added a little more of that pinkish red, sort of pull some of that out and into the flower a little bit more. They have so many veins and things, you know, flowers, so I'm just grabbing my color and the tip of my brush, moving them, turning them a little bit. Nothing fancy, just kind of indicating and making more depth into the flower, more realistic. Another cool, cute little thing you can do, of course, is berries. So you could get your red, don't put too much water. Come on over here, make some circles. Try to keep a little white dot for highlight. We'll add the stems as soon as I get these all established. I don't want too many. All right, so we did that. Now, what I would do, if while I still had that all in my brush, is go to another section and put them in wherever I wanted. But right now I want to do this bit by bit with you. So it's going to be a little different. So what I'm going to do is just, I got some sepia and some reds and some greens, and not enough sepia, okay. A little bit more water on it than I want, but it works. And just sort of, they look connected, right? All right, so let's go to some more red here, more pink. It's a pretty color. And you're using the same colors as what's already established in the painting. Quite important to think about. You want harmony in your paintings, no matter how small they are, really, or big. All right, I don't want too many everywhere. I just want some here and there. We'll take our sepia and green. Not too much water on your brush. Connect all the little berries there. It's cute. Another little idea, just go into your, like I say, I love going into that when it's all messy in colors. Look, all these colors are all mixed up with each other, and they just make some of the most beautiful colors. You can take the tip and just wing it out like grasses, you know. They always add a nice touch to, now I am barely, and I mean barely, putting pressure on the tip of this, barely, unless I wanted some, what do you call it, thicker lines. Well, then I would, now I'm going to add a little brown in with that for a couple other ones, and I'm going to go right over. Everybody's going, she's going to mess up what she's got going on. No, I'm not, because it's already dry. Once it's dry, you can do this, and it gives a nice 3D effect to things. And then add a little of the green. See, right over. You can darken those. Add a little red. Make another one. Make these lines as thin or as thick as you want them, as many as you want. I'm going to come in here to the green a little and add a little bit of red here and there. Can't do much with these ones that are already super dry. Oops. But you know, you can see the red a little bit. A little water and mix it around a little. There's so many, you know, things you can do. Interesting the way I put these leaves. I'm not quite sure I did that. Like I said, this was a little painting that I had when I first started watercolor about a year or so ago. Was dabbling in it, and I did some of these. And so I'm going to take a little bit of both yellow ochre and, whoops, and the sepia. I like that. I like the little bit of lighter colored dots in there as well. Not too much water so it didn't, I will let it dry. So I'm not going to do too much more with this. I just thought I'd show you a few techniques. Like I say, if when you are painting something, if you can remember at the beginning to leave like the space here that had those spaces of white, it's something that you have to really work at when you first learn watercolor. It took me, oh my goodness, it took me like forever to remember not to, you know, or to leave white areas. Now you can come back in like I'm doing here, and you can add your own into it. You can do that. There's no rule saying you can't. Used to be you can't, you know, I remember listening, at first you're not supposed to use whites. Oh, whatever. You know, you want to use whites, you use whites. I found Chinese white to be a fun white to use, and it's always works really well. Usually the gouache one does, but for some reason this morning, I don't know if it got too hard. I will say that about the gouache paints. I have to wet them more often, and they dry they dry quite hard. So they're a little different, but they have a lot of pigment on them. So, oh, I know what I wanted to say. Okay, so we're going to get a medium size brush here. And I wanted to take the red again. I absolutely love red and greenery with a little bit of green. And come over here and do this. Add some yellow to it. Do this. It just kind of, and then right over these. Excuse the commercial. I had some music on and it went to a commercial. And just go around and add with different colors, different sizes. Add these little wisps of I'm just gonna bring these in here. Had a little too much water on my brush, but managed to get that all in there. And then just take some yellow with a very little bit of something else on it. And, you know, well, what could we could do it here. We could add some right here, because the yellow is going to stand right out. It's gonna, you can use your finger like I just did and move some of that paint around a little bit. I think I'd like to grab a little more of that yellow and put a couple there, right on top of what I've already done because it's dry. Put those there. And again, I'm using have them going different ways. So you get the idea. And then what I'm going to do is take I love these little paints. They're like gold and sparkly metallic paints here, different colors. You get your water, get in there and loosen it all up so you can get some nice color going on. Take quite a bit of water and get it all wet. And then get more water on your brush. Come over here and look at that. Isn't that pretty? And it's gold sparkle. So not too much, and depending on the size of your brush, this is a size 10. I mean 8, I'm sorry, went back to the 8, pointed round. But that's really all you do for that. And I'm just going to call this one done because I wanted a very short little video. But it comes out pretty anyway. And that was starting, you know, like from an old painting that I did. You can't do much about moving paint around that's been sitting on paper for a year or more. But you can go over it and do what I did today. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got some helpful tips out of it as well. Hope you're trying these paintings out. You can always, you know, slow the video down, whatever, and stop it and all that kind of thing. Check out my other videos. I have a new channel here, so it's take a while to get going, but it will. And have any questions, feel free to ask them. Any comments, put them in the comments. And I hope to see you in the next video. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.